What is going on YouTube? My name is Lucas, and today I have to talk to you about HUMBL. There's a lot going on, and yes, the ETXs were released in the United States, and it was just a wave of people that were so extremely interested that they had to put out some information on Twitter letting us know that the servers needed to be upgraded. I mean, that is a tremendous feeling, and there's a lot of information I really want to go over in this video because I think there are some extremely exciting times coming up here in Q2 that we have not even hit yet. So if you're interested in HUMBL, I suggest you stay tuned right after this. Before we dive in and start talking about the ETXs, before we start talking about the timeline, before we start talking about Q2 and the app release and Tickery and all kinds of different things, I ask that you guys smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, comment down below, and now it's time to get into the video. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, there is some amazing things going on at the headquarters of HUMBL. I mean, there truly are some amazing things. People working 24/7. Brian Foote constantly doing what he is supposed to do as a leader and a CEO. We're seeing all kinds of amazing things come from this company, and the community is yet again still absolutely phenomenal. So we are aware that the ETXs went live. I'm going to recap that and really kind of go over some things because, you know, from a Digibyte standpoint, there's some things that you need to know for Bittrex. You know, I actually chose the Coinbase Pro. I went that route. I was able to get into block 3. I think that's absolutely incredible. The process was a little bit challenging. We're going to talk about what was actually going on with the process and if you were actually experiencing some laggy issues, why that was actually going on. Then we're going to talk about obviously the fact that it was, a holiday weekend and there were advertisements all over the place. I think it was a very strategic, very timely placed opportunity for this ETXs to go live. And then we're going to break down and really talk about the timeline and why I feel that there are some absolute significant things that are going to happen here in quarter 2 that are really going to springboard and really launch this stock in the upward direction. I think that, as we continue to get through the timeline, there's a lot of things that are being added as they're being accomplished. And I really think that there are some 3 major key things that are going to launch us into Q3, Q4, and then really into the future. So I'm excited to break this thing down, so let's get right into it. So the first thing up is going to be the fact that Brian Foote did announce that they would be releasing, the ETXs, and so we're going to talk about that tweet one more time. So on Friday, traditional U.S. stock markets will be closed. The 24/7 digital asset markets will not be available in the U.S. from April 2nd across multiple exchanges at #HUMBL, #HUMBL Financial. So this was put out on March 30th, and as we are aware, obviously the market was closed. The stock market was closed on April 2nd, but that's what's significant about this is it was not closed and was actually absolutely amazing to see. They actually released the ETXs at 9:30, Central Standard Time, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for me. And it was absolutely incredible. So with that came a tweet that said the block ETXs will be compatible with accounts on Coinbase Pro, Bittrex US, and Binance USA. So some of the things to think about were Bittrex actually offered some Digibyte assets where, Coinbase Pro doesn't actually cover the entire ETXs. There's certain ones. I think it's significant. I went with it, like I said, Coinbase Pro. I already had a Coinbase account, so that's the way I went. Obviously Calvin Waite comes out and says, since each exchange has different coins, we are doing block, on Bittrex, block, whatever, on Coinbase Pro, etc. The ROIs will be different, but will trade using the same logic. Each exchange has different minimum trades too, so there will be reasons to use one exchange over another. So again, that's another thing to think about when you go to actually get into these. Like I said, I chose the Coinbase Pro option. I know a ton of people who have used Bittrex. And so there's obviously options and reasons why you choose what you do. So I think that's extremely significant. Alrighty, the time has come. April 2nd is here. We got everything signed up. Let's go ahead and enter into let's go ahead and enter into the ETXs. Let's see what options we have. I'm excited. Oh wait, this is acting really slow. What is going on? Well, that's exactly what I'm here to tell you and why it was acting the way it was, which is also another incredible reason, and the communication, the transparency that this company has. So they immediately put out a tweet right after about the ETX's launch, said that due to the fact that they were just being swamped, we're going to go over it, but due to the fact that they were being swamped, which is a tremendous positive thing, they said they really had to upgrade the server. So let's see what this says. It says, thank you for your patience as we are experiencing heavy traffic demand on our servers. We will be spinning up new upgraded servers and migrating that as quickly as possible. I thought that was extremely significant because, yeah, it was acting really slow. It got to the point where I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to wait this out. A lot of people are obviously interested. Some people are getting it done quicker than others, depending on what you were actually using. But then I also think the transparency came from not only the company, but the CEO. So here it is. Brian Foote put out rapidly upgraded servers to accommodate heavier traffic loads. 2, migrated to new email service provider to drive improved response times. And 3, customer service working 24/7 on response tickets. Big thank you to Jacob, Glenn, David, Carolyn, Phil, Amber, etc., for digging in it. So I think that's a very significant piece. He went ahead and added another tweet later on that said, thank you to everyone that helped us launch HUMBL Exchange Traded Index ETXs products in the United States. Again, a very significant piece. I just think it's truly going to be phenomenal for this company, for the investors. So one thing to continue to remember is you have to pay $4.99 to become a subscriber or get a subscription. That's going to be from every person who actually chose to enter into the ETXs. That will have to be charged before you are even given the opportunity to invest into the ETXs. So each and every person that is, doing this, that's $4.99. That's a pretty significant piece, guys. And there's a ton of people, obviously, because the servers are being overloaded, that are interested in this. So that was a major thing to not only remember, but also as we continue to move forward and more people get involved with this, they're going to be charged $4.99. So that is money that is going to be coming in. So then the next piece that I really wanted to hit on is going to be the fact that this was being advertised, and it was being advertised in some major cities. I think this was a huge PR piece. I really think that this is absolutely amazing because, like I said, it was a holiday weekend, so you probably were actually still getting a decent amount of travel. A lot of people were taking the opportunity to drive. Some people were actually using the opportunity to fly to see family. This is, we're starting to come out of things. So I could not have thought of a more opportune time to slap up a billboard, in LAX, or having a huge billboard in New York Times Square. Absolutely incredible. So Brian Foote put out another tweet that said, if you're in New York City, Miami, San Francisco, or Boston this weekend, look up. Congrats to HUMBL team for all the hard work leading into tomorrow. And this one is absolutely incredible. It is a massive billboard. And as you can see, it is HUMBL. So they were, completely spread out across the United States in major areas, major cities, and people were interested. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to actually break down this timeline again. And the reason I say that is because we are now solidified into quarter 2. We are in April. We are a few days into April, and it's really time to start kind of kicking it in gear and seeing what quarter 2 is actually going to present from the timeline and moving forward. So right out the gate, the first thing on this list is HUMBL mobile app. Obviously, we know from the last call that they were putting it on hold. The reason was because of some legality things that they really wanted to shore up. They wanted to make sure everything was good to go. I think that there was just a little bit more to that, and they really wanted to time this thing out perfectly. So if it makes sense to why the app was put on hold. So as the next piece you see, it says peer-to-peer or person-to-person ticketing integrations. So the reason why I think this is a significant piece is to the fact that the app, in my opinion, I feel like the app would need to be released in order for this to actually occur. That would probably mean why the app is listed first. I get that. But I think this is a significant piece. If they're truly trying to get to this, they have to release the app first. So obviously the pressure is going to be on the fact that the app needs to be released very early on in quarter two. You know, we are only about 6 to 7 days into April. Obviously, you have April, May, and June to really get this thing rolling. But I feel like to shore up what is actually presented here in quarter two, you need to get the app rolling. From an overall perspective, to get the actual company and the stock going in the right direction, the app needs to be released. I mean, let's just be real. That's what everyone is anticipating. Everybody is waiting to see what the app is going to present. I mean, I'm sure this thing is going to be downloaded like fire. I mean, it's going to go and go and go on all kinds of different people's phones across the world. I mean, it's going to be incredible. So, again, I feel like the app is number one on this. The next, obviously talk about the peer-to-peer or the person-to-person ticketing integrations. But then the final piece is audited company financials, and I think that's a significant piece as well. I do feel like that might be pushed more towards the end of quarter two because that gives all the information for the people that in the United States, across the world that have signed up for that $4.99 subscription, and then you start talking about all the downloads and everything that come with that. I do think the financials will be a very significant piece to launch this company, to really launch the stock price in the upward direction and really lead us into quarter three and quarter four. I mean, there are some significant things that we're expecting to happen here in quarter four. Obviously, it says right there, government RFPs, banking, wireless, and merchant partners. I mean, you're really talking about some significant things. Q4 is going to be one massive party because you got HUMBL Shareholder Conference, and then you got Affiliate Sales Market Leader Awards. So I really do feel quarter two is going to be one of the most significant, if not the most significant pieces for this company and for this stock. And now we've come to my favorite part of any video, and that's chart breaking down time. So let's swing on over here and check out HMBL HUMBL INC. And that does sound amazing because obviously the ticker changed. So it opened today at $3.85. It got as high as $3.85, as low as $3.58. Volume was 5.296 million. Market cap 3.556 billion. 52-week high is $7.72. 52-week low is a big fat zero. Average volume 18.92 million. So today it did close at $3.65. That was up 0.97%. And as you guys can see, we are starting to get into that trend again where it opens up, the initial sell-off, the initial pullback happens, and then for the most part, we literally just stay flat the entire day. It's not necessarily a barcode, but guys, this right here just demonstrates the fact that there is so much anticipation for this app release. I mean, there really truly is. Not a lot of people are wanting to sell, from a long-term perspective, and there's not a ton. I mean, it's not overbearingly being added. There's just a lot that really is kind of just in a waiting phase. I mean, the ETXs were launched in the United States. I mean, that was kind of somewhat factored in leading into the week, the weekend. But I really kind of anticipated the fact that it might go up just a little bit more based on the fact that a lot of people were showing that they were getting in the ETXs like myself. And I just figured it would. But in all honesty, it did not do a whole lot. And that just shows right there that truthfully, there is so much buildup, so much anticipation for this app that I think that once that happens, it's just going to be a shock and awe moment, and we're going to see this thing really do some crazy good things. But until that point happens, I think we're just going to kind of see this steady trend again, kind of flirting between, $3 and, $0.50, $3.70. That's kind of where we'll be at until we really get that app release, and I think this thing is just going to take off in the upward direction. Appreciate you guys swinging by and checking out this video on HUMBL. Of course, this will not be the last video on this stock. This will not be the last video on this company, and we are literally on the edge waiting for the news, the positive catalyst to just erupt on this company. I do want to remind you guys, I am not a financial advisor, and anything I say in this video is for pure entertainment purposes only, and that's exactly what I'm here to do, is entertain. And you guys know how I do it. If you like this video, smash that like button. It helps out tremendously. And if you enjoy the content, because I'm going to keep the content flowing, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, have a good day.